Alright guys, this is the review on congruence and similarity. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go through each question. Feel free to pause and rewind to listen to it, just because simply you should already have done this. This is just a quick check. Alright, so number one, quadrilateral A, B, C, D is congruent to E, F, G, H. Complete the sentence. AC is congruent to what? Alright, so if I go from A to C, I need to do the same thing on the other one, because remember, for congruence it has to be in order. So I have to go from E to G. So look for the option from E to G, and that's going to be option B. Alright, looking at the next one. Given that the triangle is marked, which of the following equations is not correct? So that means 3 of them are correct and 1 of them is incorrect. Alright, so just take a look at each one. If I go from P to Q, from P to Q, I have to go from S to R. From S to R. So this one is correct. Check the next one. P to R. Can I go from P to R? No. Even if you set it up horizontally from P to S, if I go from P to S, I have to go from Q to R. Do I go from Q to R? No. The order is wrong, so this is wrong. So this is the one that's not correct. I'm just going to quickly go through the others just to make sure we understand that these two have to be correct. Can I go from Q to R? If I go from Q to R, so that's this side compared to this side, P plus Q. P plus Q, that's adding these two up and looking at the whole one. So I go from this to the whole thing, so P to Q, so I have to go for this whole thing to S plus R. Perfect. Okay, so that one works out. S to P, okay, so I compare the small one to the small one, and then I go R plus S, then the long one, the big triangle, R plus S to Q plus P. That is correct. All right. Looking at the next one, all right, this requires you to use Pythagoras theorem, which is basically a squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, where a and b doesn't matter, but c is always the longest side. All right, always opposite the 90 degrees. So it tells you that all of them are 5 by 6. Okay, so that means that must be a 90. Longest side is always c. So you're just going to replace the numbers with the letters. So we're going to write that as A, B. You can label that A and that B, doesn't matter. 5 squared plus B, which is 6 squared, equals C, which is D squared. Then work it out. 5 squared is 25, plus 6 squared is 36, equals D squared. 25 plus 36 is 61, equals D squared. Now to get D on its own, okay, you have to take the opposite of squared, which means square root. All right, so you have to take the square root of 61 and of D. So you're going to get D equals, you take your calculator, and go 61 square rooted, 7.81024. So D is 7.8, which is C. Okay, the next one. Alright, this one's set up really easy. They're just trying to confuse you with the river. Alright, find DE. So find DE. This is X. Find that. Alright, 1,000 ways to set it up. I'm going to set it up side to side. So I'll do X goes with the same side on this side, 12, over. Now because I started on this triangle, I have to start on this triangle again, 25. And that goes with what side here? 15. Cross multiply and divide, so I get 15x equals, and 25 times 15 is 375. Divide by 15. Did I do times 15? I meant to do times 12. 25 times 12 is 300. 25 times 12. 25 times 12, yeah. 300. Divide by 15. X is equal to 20. So 20 feet. X is equal to 20 feet. Alright, the next one. Alright, the next one is a typical EOC question. They like to trick you a little bit on these. So you have to be quite careful. Remember, whenever you're setting up your proportions, they have to be the same. So feet to feet, inches to inches, and so forth. Here it's telling you Greg is set up a spotlight 24 feet from the wall. He is 5'9" in height. So Greg is 5 feet 9 inches. But we can't have this. We can't have 2 dimensions. We need one or the other. Because the answers are in feet I'm going to change this whole thing to feet only. So I've already got 5 feet, so that means I need to change 9 inches into feet. The easiest way to do this is set up a proportion. The hint that you need to know right off the bat is that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. All right. Anytime you're having one of these conversions or whatever, the easiest thing to do is proportions. All right. So I want to know how many feet 9 inches is. So you put inches with inches, feet with feet. So inches with inches, so we have 9 inches. And I want to know how many feet 9 inches is. Okay, so go ahead and cross multiply. So 9 times 1 is 9 equals x times 12 is 12x. Divide by 12. X is equal to 0.75. All right, so 9 inches is equal to 0.75. So I can replace this 9 inches with 0.75 feet. So now he's 5 feet and 0.75 feet. So he is a total of 5.75 feet tall. 5.75 feet tall. All right, the biggest mistake here I see all the time is people say 5.9. 5.9 is not the same as 5.75. All right, now he stands halfway between the light and the wall. So he stands halfway between the light and the wall. So if the whole thing is 24, halfway is 12. So he stands right there. How high is the shadow of the wall? So how high is that? And again, it just becomes a proportion that you're used to. I do small triangle, or let me separate the triangles. Small triangle, 12, 5.75. Big triangle, 24, and x. So set up your proportion. 5.75 goes with x over 12 goes with 24. Cross multiply. 5.75 times 24 is 138. So 138 equals 12x. Divide by 12. X equals 138 divided by 12. 11.5. X equals 11.5 feet. All right, which is G. Again, if I'm going too fast, just pause and rewind, just so you could understand. All right, next question. All right, a footbridge AB has been built on the lake shown. How long is the bridge? Again, all they're trying to do is confuse you. They're asking you how long is this bridge from A to B, because that's A to B. They're telling you this is congruent to that, okay? And then they're asking you how long this is. So let's go ahead and put an X right there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and separate the triangles. All right, so I've got small triangle. This is A, this is B. It's what I'm looking for, X. And here, small triangle, I have 8, 7, 3. All right, big triangle. Here I have 2, 2, 6, 0. And I don't have anything here. Here. All right, now look. From here to here is a big triangle. From here to here. What's that distance? It's not 873, but 873 plus 873. So 873 plus 873. 1746. Once you have that, set up your proportions and solve the question. All right, so let's do x to this over, because I started on this triangle, start again, 873 to 1746. Cross multiply. 1746 equals 873 times 2260. It's a really big number. Oh, this is an X. 1972980. Divide by 1746. X equals, divide by 1746. 1130 feet. 1130 feet. D. All right. Next question. 4 by 6 inch photograph is enlarged by a scale factor of 5 to 3. What are the dimensions of the enlarged photograph? Oh, in fact, you know what? We're going to leave this to when we do scale factors with transformations, I'll come back to this question. So for right now, don't even worry about that one. All right, don't worry about this one. I'll come back to it when we do transformations, when we're dealing with scale factors. I'd love to introduce that then. All right, so let's look at the next one. And the same thing with this, just because it's talking about the scales, I'm going to come back to that, so you don't have to do that one either. Take a look at the next one. Oh, you could actually go ahead and do this one since we've done similar figures. So it's similar. They tell you it's similar. That means you can set up your ratios, find A plus B. That means I need to find A, I need to find B. All right, so let me set up a ratio that goes with A. A goes with what on this other figure? 25. All right, and starting from here, I'm going to pick something that they've already given me. They didn't give me B, so I'm going to use 12. And 12 goes with what on this side? With 40. Solve the proportion. You get 40A equals 12 times 25, which is 300. Divide by 40. A equals 7.5. All right, do the same thing for B. So B goes with 30. Because I started on this side, start again on this side. Again, start with something you know. 12 goes with 40. Cross multiply. 40B equals 12 times 30. It's 360. Divide by 40. B equals 9. So now the question is, what's A plus B? So what's 7.5 plus 9? 9 plus 7.5. 16.5. That's B. All right, finally, the last one. A rope 30 feet in length extends from the top of a flagpole. Okay, so this stuff you have to draw. So here's a flagpole. A rope extends from the top of the flagpole, so a rope is going to start right here, all the way to the end of the flagpole's shadow on the ground. All right, so it's going to the shadow. So here's the shadow of the flagpole, and it's 30. This is 30. The length of its shadow is 18, so the length is 18. The length of the shadow is 18. In feet, how tall is a nearby gate if its shadow is 12? So if a gate is right here, it's going to be a gate. I guess they kind of look like this. All right, here's a gate. If the shadow of that gate, so here's the shadow of the gate, is 12 feet. Okay? If the shadow is 12 feet, how tall is it? So we're looking for this. How tall is this? So they're going to be similar because they are your triangles. All right, and then just set up your equations. Oh, first, actually, before you set up your equation, because this has to go with this, I need to find missing side. Now, because that's going to be 90, I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem to find that. That's interesting. That's cool. All right, let me do it on this one so I can just compare it. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A, B, C. C is always the longest side. All right, so A squared is just A squared plus B squared, which is 18 squared, equals C squared, which is 30 squared. All right, 18 times 18 is, so A squared A squared plus 324 equals 30 squared, which is 900, minus 324 from both sides. So A squared equals 576. Take the square root. A is 24. So this right here is 24. All right, now that I know that, I can compare, my side to side and set up my proportion. So 24 goes with X, and 18 goes with 12. Cross multiply. 24 times 12, 288 equals 18x. Divide by 18. X equals 16. So the height of the gate is 16 feet. And that's it.